Hello everyone, this is the Andrew Dahl, aka the German Viking, and something happened with my previous video where my got completely corrupted and or just weird, so I'm doing a retake. So New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern calls for a global effort to shut down online hate speech. That is interesting in regards to that these people are so reactionary. They would just want to shut everything down after something tragic happens. And it looks to me often it's either from the religious right when it was were in regards to video games, music, comics, and things like that. And you also have the leftists now that also go after video games, and especially after free speech on social media platforms the last few years. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has called for a coordinated global effort to tackle online hate speech. These people can never define online hate speech. What is hate speech? But is it just something you say online that you don't like? Because I mean, don't you have laws for harassment or threats or anything like that? I mean, free speech, hate speech is part of free speech. That's my impression of it. It comes after Facebook announced it would tighten regulations by banning posts, photos, and other content that promotes and supports white nationalism and white separatism. But they're going to continue how to have Antifa, Black Panthers, Black Israelites, I mean, all these anti-Tyrians on their platform, but white nationalism is somehow worse than everything else. I mean, they also have people from religions that are allowed to stay on platforms. Speaking in Christchurch on Thursday ahead of Friday's Remembrance service for the victims of the terror attack, Ardern applauded the move by the social media giant, but said there was more work to do. Given that Facebook already has rules which ban hate speech, content subject to the new prohibitions should always have fallen within existing guidelines. Or prohibition never works, and Facebook, Patreon, PayPal, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, all these Google, YouTube, all these platforms already ban hate speech, and it's very hard to get a straight answer out of them what is actually hate speech. So, and they apply the rules differently. So I don't see how that is really a good thing when there are double standards all around. I'm pleased to see that they are including it and they have taken that step, but I still think that there is a conversation to be had with the international community about whether or not enough is being done. When is enough enough? Is it when everyone they don't like is censored off of the internet? The work is never going to be done then. I mean, then everyone has to get off the internet. That's when enough is enough. That's the only solution to this logic. There are lessons to be learned here in Christchurch, and we don't want to want anyone to have to learn those lessons again, lesson over again. What lessons are that? That there are sometimes crazy people that are gonna do terrible things. How are you going to limit that? If you have freedom, there are some consequences and risks involved with that. You can't just limit society because there might be some things that happen. The Australian government is looking to introduce legislation to penalise social media companies if they do not restrain their speech of extremist material, with Ireland, Germany, and others also hoping to bring in measures to reduce harmful content. Yeah, you know, and when the government in Germany and Britain are going around door to door, knocking down, asking, "Do you have a free speech license, mate?" And actually, someone in Britain being stopped by police and then getting a visit and telling them they should think differently before they post something. There is something seriously wrong with this country. It's not a an example we should go after. Do we really want to go under communism or Germany in the 1930s and 40s, and the limited freedoms they had there? Are we seriously advocating for this? There's so much progress in society today, with internet being such an amazing platform to communicate and connect with people, and you want to limit that because some 0.01% or whatever have some very hateful views. I can live with them having these views, and if they breach the social contract and break laws, they should be jailed. But you cannot do a minority report kind of society where you have wrongthink and put them in jail. It's a scary, slippery slope we're going down. Others said the proposal reflects the broader international community's view that more needs to be done to resolve the problem we face while preserving a free, open, and secure internet, which is a paradox. Preserving a free, open, and you can't have a secure internet. You either have a secure internet and it's not free and open, or you have a free, open internet and it's not secure. Because that is you can't have both. It is impossible. She said, I do believe that New Zealand has a role to play in this debate and in much needed reform. I'm focused on working collaboratively to find meaningful solutions. Ultimately, we can all promote good rules locally, but these platforms are global, and I believe, therefore, the solutions will need to be too. There is still more work that we can do together, and I include that those platforms like Facebook also the international community. So you're advocating what others should do within the country. I'm going to give you the middle finger and tell you to fuck off. You don't get to dictate what happens in my country. You have shown to be completely incompetent in handling your own country. You're doing exactly what the person wanted to after the terror incident. You are a goddamn idiot and a reactionary. And now you want to point fingers and tell everyone they should follow your example. Go screw yourself. A number of nations have now been making their own individual moves, but I think there would be a benefit for there being a global coordinated response. So you want globalism, a standard all over the globe. There are different cultures, different views all over the world. You're never gonna succeed with this. This is basically globalism in action here. The government is now finalizing the terms of reference for a royal commission of inquiry into the actions by the security agencies ahead of the attacks. The Prime Minister said, and is in the final stages of narrowing a potential inquiry. Temporary bans on military-style automatic and assault weapons are already in place, and legislation prohibiting their purchase will be introduced next week, the Prime Minister said. Yeah, what are military semi-automatic? What are they? Military style. All rifles, basically all rifles except for single bolt, are semi-automatic. When you press the trigger and get a shot, that's a semi-automatic rifle. You have some exceptions with single action bolt, and you have shotguns and a few exceptions, but that's basically a semi-automatic. An assault weapon, what's that? Did you take a rifle and just beat someone over the head with it? Because that's what's going to happen. That's an assault weapon. Auden will attend Friday's service to remember the 50 people who died and 48 injured when the government opened fire on worshippers at the Masjid Al-Noor and Linwood Masjid on March 15th, the worst mass shooting in New Zealand's history, which is terrible. I wish no one would die of extremism, and it's a tragedy. But you are going around in solidarity, selling out your own culture to wear a hijab as a political statement. Are you going to wear a sombrero if 10 Mexicans die in your country? Are you going to wear a cross if 20 Christians die? Are you going to do anything else in solidarity if someone of a certain religion dies? If let's say Vikings die, are you gonna wear a helmet and an axe going around? I mean, this is the kind of logic this woman is doing. So I'm gonna skip until the last part of the article. We have never been free of racism, which you're never gonna be. We have never been free of violent ideology, which you're also never gonna be rid of. But our overriding values are one of fairness, compassion, and diversity. Diversity is a crap argument, because that's that's what these SJWs would say is a dog whistle for these leftists and anti-white. That's what I take of it as diversity. It's not diversity of thought. It's diversity of and skin color, which isn't white. That's what I take it as. Government is not the only ones who have a role to play in ensuring that these values are upheld. So why are you taking action by people not being able to defend themselves with legally purchased weapons? I just saw an article with these biker gangs. They're not going to hand in the weapons. Good luck getting it from them. So these gangs are going to have their weapons, but legal citizens who bought these legally are not going to have them. I don't have all the answers now, but I'm committed to finding them. And I just don't understand this woman and her logic in regards to this. Now, anyways, those are pretty much my thoughts. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.